Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday the 9th of July 2025. In today's Mill news, lo and behold, we have the announcement. We now have a goalkeeping coach. Isn't that good? So yes, this is from the southernnews.co.uk. They publish on Thursdays. Go out and pick up a copy. Millwall appoint Dean Thornton as first team goalkeeping coach. Thornton joins after spending 2 seasons as Southampton's goalkeeping coach. He's also worked at Swansea City, Milton Keynes Dons, Swindon Town and Queen's Park Rangers. Thornton started coaching aged 19 after being invited to work for QPR's academy as a part-time coach by then academy manager Steve Gallen, who is now Mill's Director of Football. He worked closely alongside current Rangers boss Russell Martin and was part of his coaching staff from 2019 to 2024. I'm delighted to be here, Dean told Mill's website. It's a great club with great history. I spoke to Steve and the gaffer about the project here for this season, and that made my decision a no-brainer. I've spoken with Max a few times, and it's great to be working with him. Whilst I haven't been able to work with Lucas just yet because of his injury, I look forward to when that moment comes. The 2 young boys, George and Jacob, have done really well so far too. And we'll make sure we're ready for a grueling championship campaign. So there you go. Dean Thornton. Who? Exactly. Shall we find out a little bit more about Dean Thornton, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to start with an interview that he gave to goalkeeper.com. Goalkeeper.com. Yes, I mean, wow, Isn't the internet a wondrous thing? Look at the things you find on the internet when you stop using Google and social media to get your information. Yeah, he gave a quite long interview. This is from February the 18th, 2025. So 5 months ago. Dean Thornton interview, Ramsdale, Russell Martin, self-reflection and how talking, listening and learning makes Premier League goalkeepers and coaches. So this is, I have not read this yet, by the way, so we're gonna discover this together. Let's have a little read of this then. Learning from Aaron Ramsdale, Alex McCarthy, Rob Green, Julio Cesar and many more has taught Southampton's goalkeeping coach the value of absorbing as much wisdom as possible. Ah yes, very much wisdom. Dean Martin has worked across the football pyramid as a goalkeeper coach, previously at Queen's Park Rangers, Milton Keynes Dons, Swindon Town and Swansea City, and currently at Southampton. 17 years later and I'm still coaching, he says, speaking exclusively to goalkeeper.com. I started this journey so young, I made the right decision to go down this route. Thornton's fantastic coaching journey stemmed from a lower profile playing career. As a young boy, he enjoyed a rocky start to life on the pitch. I was picked for QPR when I was 8, and at 13 I decided I'd had enough of football and I rejected their contract offer. And 3 weeks later, I realised I made a mistake, and my dad got called by my former goalkeeper coach at QPR, and he'd moved to Wycombe Wanderers and asked if I wanted to join him. And I stayed as a first-year pro from 13 until 19, and I got released. And during that time, I broke my leg and I tore my cruciate, and I fell out of love with playing the game. So interesting. So a youth player didn't quite make it for various reasons. Quite early on, when he was 13, he got the hump with it. And then when a coach asked him, "Hey, do you want to come back now?" I'm out. So maybe it was the situation at QPR that he got the hump with, and because he went to Wycombe when he was 13 and stayed for 6 years until he was 19 when he got released. So yeah. And in that time, he broke his leg and tore his cruciate. So, oof, that is quite a couple of injuries for a young man to undertake. Thornton's enjoyment had evaporated, but a new calling quickly beckoned that reignited his love for football, and he never looked back. I received a phone call from Steve Gallen, who's now sporting director of Millwall, but he was at the time, academy manager at QPR and my former coach at under 10 level. He remembers. He asked if I'd been a part-time goalkeeping coach for the academy, and I said, I'd never thought about coaching. And I started coaching at 19, and I spent 9 years at QPR, and I oversaw the academy from ages 9 to 21. And towards the end, I worked with the first team and the first team goalkeeper coaches, including Kevin Hitchcock, Gavin Ward and David Rouse. And they made me feel very welcome, regarding players. I worked with Rob Green, Julio Cesar, Paddy Kenny and Radek Cerny. Thornton has formed a close bond with Russell Martin and has been part of his coaching staff since 2019 until his sacking at Southampton at the end of 2024. I've known Russell since I was 16. We worked together for 5 years. It's been a real learning experience. Russell's left Southampton and I'm still here. And it's been tough not to see or work with him daily. And I like the opportunity to work with Russell again. And I'm grateful to Russell, for what he's done for me and my family. And I love working with such a young and incredible manager. Martin became synonymous with a very distinct style of play that focused on keeping the ball. This placed increased emphasis on the goalkeeper to consistently facilitate the build-up. Thornton loved Martin's philosophy. When he started at MK Dons, he called me and he asked me if I'd be his goalkeeping coach. And he had a clear plan. We spent hours upon hours and days upon days going through his philosophy, style of play and what he expects from a goalkeeper. And he wanted to have possession and for his team to enjoy it. And I was all in for Russell's style as a goalkeeper coach. And, when you're playing in a team that wants the ball, it gets highlighted if the goalkeeper's uncomfortable. And the goalkeeper is there to be part of possession and the build-up and how to start an attack. And I think it increases enjoyment and brings out the best in a goalkeeper. That is another thing. This was mentioned before when this guy was linked. That he's seen, but I think, it's the thing that Russell Martin wanted to do. So, of course, he's going to say, oh, yes, boss. Great idea, boss. Let's get to work on that, boss. It's not... if you asked him what a goalkeeper should be, does he think that that's what goalkeepers should be? Probably not. Does that mean that Millwall are going to start playing like that? No. It means Alex Neil is going to tell this guy what he wants from his goalkeepers, and then this guy is going to try and get it out of them through training and repetition and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that we're going to start playing like that. Don't think so. Where are we at? In August 2024, Aaron Ramsdale joined the Saints from Arsenal. Thornton was delighted and described it as a massive signing. Russell asked me who I wanted after the playoff final, and he believes in the goalkeeper coach, looking after the goalies. And Russell spoke to Aaron about what he wanted from his goalkeeper, and I talked to his agent about, what I was looking for. And Aaron wanted to play regularly in the Premier League, and get back in the England setup. I can't speak highly enough of him as a player, but also as a lad, he's brilliant. He's a pleasure to work with alongside the other goalkeepers. The Southampton goalkeeping department currently possesses Ramsdale, Alex McCarthy and Joe Lumley, while Gavin Bazuma has joined Standard Liège on loan. Thornton provided an incredible insight into how this dynamic works and how goalkeepers get the best out of each other. I have a great group. I've known Alex since he was 14 and we were at Wycombe together. I was at QPR when we signed Joe, and you can tell, when we got a good group for the ones not playing. I told Joe he would be our number 3 in the Championship, and my reasons were that he could help us with our style because he's very good with the ball at his feet, and he would drive sessions by facilitating the number 1 through encouragement. Joe was a massive reason for why we got promoted. He helped Gavin, and he's now doing the same with Aaron. And in terms of how we get the best out of each other, it's healthy competition. And we're always challenging each other. All 4 can fight for a shirt. You just need to set expectations early on. Despite being a top-flight goalkeeper coach, Thornton reaffirms that he's still learning and cultivating strong relationships is paramount for success. On and off the pitch, I'll learn every day from these boys because they've all had different journeys and played various roles for the team. Alex and Aaron have spent many years in the Premier League, so I picked their brains on their experiences. As a group, they're all harsh on themselves. Premier League and Championship players always want to improve and learn. And in my experience, working in League 1 and League 2, some players don't want to hear what you tell them. They think they know it. And that can be the difference as to why they're not playing at a higher level. And, some experience that I've had this year, if I take a step back, I could have handled it better, if I'm being honest. And I'm looking at myself, as a young goalkeeper coach, if it came again, I'll change. But you're everything, you're their coach, teacher, mentor, and family, and they must know that you have their back at all times. Regarding player development, Thornton strongly believes clubs should take more advantage of the loan system to prepare young players for senior football at higher levels. They should go out on loan and play men's football as early as possible. I don't believe there's a bad loan for goalkeepers as long as they're safe and avoid injuries. This makes them ready for the first team, and we need to test goalkeepers more in this country and make them better at earlier points in their careers, rather than playing youth team football. Southampton's goalkeeping guru possesses a keen eye for talent and believes that positive integration with the first team is crucial for progression. I look for how hungry they are to train with the first team. Once they train with the first team, how do they behave? Do they think they cracked it? If they make an impact, I'll speak to the seniors and ask what they think, and also look at how they interact with the seniors. Are they quiet and reserved? I tell every goalkeeper to get involved and make an impression. You're with the first team. You're not here to be a number. And I think it's important that they know there's a pathway to get an opportunity to train with the first team. Having worked at academy through first team level, as well as with young goalkeepers in his own coaching academy away from the professional game, one constant remains for Thornton across all of those levels of experience. The process must be enjoyed and a clear development path offered. And what's this? Is this him? I think this is him. Brookhouse to Wembley. Oh, so he was a junior at Brookhouse. And then because Southampton won the playoff final, didn't they? So he's celebrating that. He's involved in it. He's not playing. For young goalkeepers, it's about enjoying being crazy in the goal, making saves and being brave. And you've got to help them, show them a way of developing. But when they come into an academy environment, how much do we coach them? Do we coach them too much, or do we coach them too little? And that's where there's such a fine line. It's giving them as much as possible without overloading them. The Dean Thornton Goalkeeper Academy is designed to help goalkeepers improve technical skills and develop their confidence. He places huge value on the basics of goalkeeping and how they need to be mastered. People assume the Premier League players don't work on the basics, but they do. They do basics really, really well. And I posted a video where the goalkeepers practice punching the ball under no pressure, and I put the content online and got comments such as, why is he punching? He should be catching it. It's because they're working on the basics. If they don't work on punching, they won't do it in a game, and then people will say, he can't do this, he can't do that. And I'm not filming it just to make it look good on camera. I'm filming it because it requires technique, distance, and height. The universalism that social media provides can also offer an informal education for the next generation of coaches. Thornton didn't play at the highest level, but doesn't think that's a prerequisite for coaching at that standard. He has worked hard on absorbing the information around him and channeling it into his best practice. I never got near the elite levels of play, but elite goalkeeper coaches I chat with all had good careers, but they weren't world-class players. Elite players who manage or coach find it tough to understand why an individual can't do something, because they've done it themselves naturally for years. And you must understand the game, your role, and how you can improve, and that's all it's about for me. Thornton is full of advice for aspiring young goalkeeping coaches and hopes to encourage more people to take a similar journey. I speak to as many people as possible. We're different. Goalkeeping coaches always talk to each other. And this is where I've improved as a coach, because, from 28 to 37, I've been on my own, and I've been the lead goalkeeper coach and the only one training. Previously from 19 to 28, I worked with other coaches. I picked their brains regularly. I speak to Ben Roberts at Chelsea and Tony Roberts at Norwich. If you go on your own, you won't last. Indeed. So there you go. Very interesting interview there. One thing to note, though, he got criticised for having the Southampton coaches punching a ball under no pressure. Southampton were quite easily relegated from the Premier League last season. they just narrowly missed out on having the lowest points total in Premier League history. Keep that in mind. Is it related? I don't know. So, let's have a look at this Dean Thornton Goalkeeper Academy. Now, one thing to explain why he probably didn't make it as a goalkeeper is he doesn't appear to be that tall. Here he's on the left, by the way. You can see, Gavin Bazuma, Aaron Ramsdale. I think that's Alex McCarthy. And I don't know who that guy is on the right. So he's smaller than them. So, is he 6 foot? If he is, barely. So that might be one reason why he didn't make it. But yeah, he's got a goalkeeper academy that he runs. He has, coaches, it's running his name. He does a bit of it, but he's got other coaches working for him as well. So about the academy that he's running. Dean Thornton is currently the first team goalkeeper coach of Southampton. Well, you need to update that, mate, because that ain't the thing now. Dean has worked at every level in the professional game, from Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, with over 17 years coaching experience, working at clubs such as Southampton, Swansea, MK Dons, Swindon Town as first team goalkeeper coach. Dean has had international experience with Taiwan. Oh, konnichiwa. As a men's national team goalkeeper coach. Dean was also head of academy goalkeeper at QPR for 9 years. This is the thing. He started when he was 19. And he's only, what did he say, he's 37. So he's got the experience because he got in at 19. He's already had an insanely long career. So Dean has worked with some of the best goalkeepers in the world. As mentioned, Julio Cesar, 7 Brazil caps, Robert Green, England international, and current Premier League international goalkeepers Aaron Ramsdale, Gavin Bazuna, as well as goalkeepers such as Alex McCarthy, Stephen Bender, Andrew Fisher, Lee Nichols, and Joe Lumley. His academy and techniques are designed to help goalkeepers improve technical skills and develop their confidence. We are based in Maidenhead and Reading, and work with children aged 6 to 18 years old. So this is a children's academy. It is Dean Thornton Junior Goalkeeping Academy. We can help find professional routes into the game, or if you're just looking for a fun session, then that is fine too. Yeah, sure, why not? And here we go. As a goalkeeper training, Fridays in Maidenhead and Wednesday in Reading. It runs 50 weeks of the year with just 2 weeks off at Christmas. So this is a guy who's grafting, yeah. Obviously these are imagine if he takes training at Millwall on Wednesday, he'll do the training during the day, drive around the M25 to Reading, and then do a training session in the evening, and then boom, bosh, there you go. Our goalkeeper program focuses on all components to become a great goalkeeper. We focus a lot on handling, ball handling. I'm very good at ball handling myself, by the way. Shot stopping, positioning, distribution, footwork, coordination, agility, and confidence. Our coaches are currently playing at professional level, so the quality of coaching is very high. Cool. So there you go. This is the new goalkeeping coach. He's had an insanely long career, because he started when he was 19. Given his chance by Steve Gallen, by the way. So, yeah, seems to be on the ball. He does seem to... I don't know if this was a one-off, he does have a... I don't think this is a negative in some regard, what I'm going to show you now. And that's this. So this is from 2022, March 2022, so 3 years ago. Swansea coach Thornton fined £3,000 and banned from 2 games over Fulham Rumpus. Ooh, so was this in the Premier League? Yeah, so he's following Russell Martin around because he went to Swansea with Russell Martin. And then obviously this is before he went to Southampton. Swansea City goalkeeping coach Dean Thornton has been fined £3,000 and banned from involvement at 2 games following a tempestuous conclusion to their loss at Fulham on the 8th of March. The Football Association, boo, says Thornton admitted to abusive, insulting and improper behaviour in or around the changing room area. Swansea were earlier fined £5,000 over players' reaction to Ryan Manning's red card for fouling Harry Wilson. Their appeal against that red failed. So Swansea's player, Ryan Manning, got sent off for fouling Harry Wilson, and the players all fucking shit their pants. Fucking had a go at the ref. Who else would they have a go at? And it seems that maybe, obviously we don't know what was said, but that he had a go at the ref as well, or maybe even Harry Wilson. Maybe he dived. Obviously, I'm not familiar with the situation. Republic of Ireland international Manning was banned for 3 games for the foul in the championship encounter on Wales international Wilson, with a further game added as it was his second red card of 21-22. Oh yeah, Fulham were in the championship then, weren't they? And then Mitrovic scored like 50 goals. Cool, okay. So yeah, like I said, this is not a negative. You want someone who cares, gets, involved, shall we say. He got the punishments were handed on to him rather than the club, so not a problem. Now, got some news for you, which not a lot of people are talking about. Millwall haven't confirmed this, but our opponents for the final pre-season game of pre-season, you know how we do it. We've been doing this for so long now. All of our pre-season games are away, usually within the M25, except for the last one, which is the week before the season starts, and that's always at the 10. And for the past however many years, it has been a foreign team. It was easier to get a foreign team, and not really any, objections. It'd be very hard to get a Premier League team, even a Scottish team. Not really going to be happening. Costs too much. The football, the police. So we're going to be playing Estoril Praia. Yeah. Now, this is from the PortugalNews.com, which seems to be an English language news website about Portugal. But as it says here, Nottingham Forest playing Portugal pre-season friendlies. What's that got to do with Millwall? That's just the headline. Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. We'll read down and we'll find out about Millwall. Don't worry. So Estoril Praia will face English side Nottingham Forests in a total of 9 friendly matches, 2 of which will take place during the pre-season training camp currently underway in Troia. While the match against the club coached by Portuguese coach Nuno Espirito Santo will take place in the final period of preparation on July the 30th, the first test for the team coached by Ian Cathro is scheduled for today against Estoril's under-23 team. So they're playing their own under-23 team. Etc, etc. Let's get to Millwall. On July the 26th, the team will face Sporting B from Liga 2, and the final 2 matches will be against English teams, Nottingham Forest from the Premier League on the 30th, and Millwall, who play in the Championship, the English second tier, okay, on August the 2nd, a week before the official debut in Liga 1 against Estrela do Amadora. Estoril Praia will be participating in the I-Liga for the 5th consecutive season after finishing 8th with 46 points in the last season. So if we go back up, it's been confirmed by the club that we're playing. Millwall ain't said nothing about it. I imagine they're waiting until they can announce, the date, the time, the ticket sales, etc. The price of the tickets, all of that stuff. They've got a lot to do at the moment. They've got to get rid of all this junk that's there. The auction. But they put up this picture on Facebook. So let's have a look at that. I've zoomed it in. You can see there, Millwall 2 Augusto. and I'm reliably informed that means August. So there you go. So Jogos de Praia Epoca. Timos indeed. And Estoril Praia, literally translated, means Estoril Beach. The name of the team is Estoril Beach. Nice, which is, you can see why their photograph is taken on a beach. So there you go. Cool. Now, who is this? Do you care? Will you be going? I don't know. We do seem to play a lot of Portuguese teams, don't we? We played, was it Vondela? We played Braga away. We played a team Farinese, did we not? We played Sporting, obviously, in the first game at the new den. Do love a bit of the old Portuguese teams. And why not? Why not, indeed? So, this is Wikipedia for the 24-25 Primeira Liga of Portugal. And as you can see, in the 8th position, Estoril. They're 46 points, minus 5 goal difference. They finished 11 points off the European places of the Conference League, which was taken up by Santa Clara. And you know, but they're quite some distance away from the bigger teams in the league. But you know, the league goes down all the way to 18. Although Boa Vista, they got relegated on a technicality. Administrative relegation to Liga 3. But you know, they finished 8th. They won 12 games, drawn 10, lost 12. So they're not rum-dums. They're a good team. They know what they're doing. One thing to note of interest about Estoril is this: David Blitzer. Who exactly? They are owned by an American of sorts. He is the owner of Global Football Holdings, and they own Estoril. He's from New Jersey. He graduated magna cum laude from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. And he's part of the Blackstone group. Blackstone, is that the evil one? No, that's Black Rock. Or maybe Blackstone are evil too, I don't know. But if we go down, there's a lovely little graphic here. So he's got these different companies. Yeah, he's got Harris Blitzer Sports, okay. And then he's got this one, Global Football Holdings. So the Global Football Holdings are the owner, and they manage Estoril Praia, Alcorcon in the second division in Spain, Beveren in the Belgium league, but that's co-owner. FC Augsburg, they co-own that. And they're the owner of ADO Den Haag, and they're the just slightly majority owner of Brøndby in the Danish Superliga. So there's that. Not only that, he's one of the ones. I don't know if he's the reason why Crystal Palace. I thought, because it's all being put on John Textor, so I don't know if it's his 18% stake. Must be his stake, because this is independently owned and managed. So this is like independent, rather than the two companies above. So David Blitzer is I think he's got 18% stake in Crystal Palace. So there you go. And then all of these other ones are American places. The Washington Commanders, who are they? That's the Redskins. They had to change their name. They were bullied into changing their name. Funnily enough, one little thing to note is that his father-in-law tried to extort him for $11 million in 2010. He got convicted and was sentenced to 5 years of probation. So, you know, the Thanksgiving dinner, I'm sure, are all very interesting, having the family around the table. So, yeah, there you go. This is who we're playing. Estoril Praia at the Den, 2nd of August, Bosch. And obviously this doesn't say that it's whether it's going to be. It is going to be. They're coming to England to play Forest and Millwall, so it is going to be in this country. Obviously, we don't know what time they're going to kick off. I would assume. Now Millwall have a propensity to put these things as an early kick-off, so the players can all go home. But, I think if they just had it at Saturday at 3 o'clock, they might do better, really, in terms of ticket sales, but we'll see. So, in terms of, pre-season games, we got some information. So, this is from millfc.co.uk. The Wimbledon game, they're going to show it on Millwall TV. And I believe, because I went onto the Wimbledon website, and they've said something, their strong ticket sales, tickets are selling really well, etc., etc. And then they've started to sell hospitality packages, I think, and stuff like that. So I think the situation is, because they haven't announced this straight away, I think the situation is that they clearly, they want to sell tickets because you get people in the ground, you get people buying drinks, you get people buying food, and then they make more money. So I think with these pre-season games, if the ticket sales are good, because all of them are pre-selling tickets, if they're good, and it looks like it's going to head for a sellout, then I think they'll put it on Millwall TV. Maybe it won't be automatic, but if the ticket sales are going well, then they'll announce it for Millwall TV. If they're not, then they might not put it on Millwall TV. So we'll see. So that might affect the Sutton game, I would imagine, because I think the Bromley one's selling quite well as well. Not only that, they've got a stand missing. I think they're still building it. So yeah, if you didn't know, Mill travelled to AFC Wimbledon for a pre-season friendly on Tuesday, the 22nd of July. Kick-off at 7:30 p.m, not 7:45, 7:30. And Lions fans can watch the action by purchasing a match start pass on Mill TV, with 2 camera coverage and commentary. Watch this London derby for just £5, £5 English. Yeah, but you can't buy a match pass yet. Match passes will be on sale closer to the fixture. Match passes are on sale for the game on Saturday, the 12 o'clock kick-off Crystal Palace game. So we'll see about that. So there you go. We also have this. The under-21s played a game behind closed doors at the training ground against Kinetic Academy. Who are they? Exactly. But they won. So, yeah, Mill's under-21 side ran out 4-3 winners in the behind closed doors friendly at Cameron Road on Tuesday afternoon. Kevin Nugent's side, heavily populated by trialists that have been training with the squad ahead of the 25-26 season, took to the grass for their first pre-season friendly ahead of their Professional Development League campaign in a match consisting of 2 35-minute halves. So not a full game. They decided against the 20 minutes, 20, they took it up to 70 minutes. So 2 35-minute halves with 70 minutes. Interesting, if you imagine they had a proper ref, they would have got a ref in for that. Obviously, in this day and age, when you have a 35-minute game, if the ref adds on like 5 minutes injury time, it just takes it up to like a normal like 45-minute game, or 90-minute game. Rafik Lamti opened the scoring after just 10 seconds. Wow! Against his former side, who levelled the score shortly after. So this is insane. So it was a 70-minute game, and there was 7 goals in it. 1 every 10 minutes. 4-3 winners. Further goal scorers for the Lions included a brace from a trialist, the same trialist, with Frankie Baker completing the scoring. Kevin Nugent's side will face Luton Town's under-21s next Tuesday in another behind closed doors friendly. But they do have games that you can go to at Maidstone United and Welling, and that game is going to be on Friday night. So there you go. Now we're going to finish up the video by talking about probably the apex point. Probably this is the point of no return. This is the thing that's going to kill football. It's not going to be Millwall getting promoted to the Premier League, although that might happen at the same time as this. It's going to be the Quango. They have passed the law. The Football Governance Bill has passed its 3rd reading in the House of Commons. And this is from City AM via MSN. Fans will end up paying for Football Regulator, Tories warn. Yep. Paying for what? What are you paying for? Fans of clubs outside the Premier League should expect ticket price rises following the approval of a football regulator. Shadow Sport Minister Louis French has warned that the Championship, League 1 and League 2 are all heavily loss-making, but could face a bill of almost £50 million towards the operation of the independent regulator for English football. Why? What the fuck are you getting for £50 million? You're paying £50 million to be told what to do. How about we keep our money and you fuck off? How about that? These smaller clubs, which already operate on small budgets and face higher bills due to the incompetence of this Labour government, will likely have no choice but to pass these additional costs on to fans via ticket prices, French told CEAM. This is why the Conservatives fought to limit the cost and size of Labour's new regulator to have greater transparency over its costs to football in the future and to exempt smaller clubs from paying the levy. We believe that the government has scored another terrible own goal, so a future Conservative government will urgently renew this new state regulator with a view to taking politics out of football again. Yes, we already have the FA, we already have the EFL, we already have the Premier League. These are the regulators. We do not need a Quango from the government that we have to pay for to regulate football. Premier League clubs are expected to foot the vast majority of the projected 125 million costs for the first decade of the regulator, which some of them actively oppose. They also face 50 million in additional annual national insurance payments as a result of recent tax changes. The incoming regulator's main responsibility will be to ensure the financial sustainability of the domestic game. Its creation was the key plank of the Football Governance Bill, which was passed in a vote of MPs on Tuesday. The regulator brings opportunities and costs. League One club Lincoln City have been preparing for the introduction of a football regulator for more than a year, and CEO Liam Scully called the vote a pivotal step towards safeguarding the long-term future of the game. Wow. Bookmark that, because that guy is going to look like a real fucking idiot in hopefully it's a while, but it could be as early as 5 years. Have you seen what this government's done in 12 months that they've been in charge? Why the fuck would you want them to do anything else? You would just tell them, hey, go away and leave us alone. They couldn't run a piss up in a brewery. He told CEAM, throughout the consultation on the bill, it's been maintained that the regulator's expenditure and the resulting levy will be proportionate. We also understand that the regulator will work constructively with clubs to help us adjust to the new regime, which we take in good faith. Wow. And naturally, there will be points of tension and elements that even the best-run clubs may find challenging. However, we must view this as a comprehensive package of reform and work collaboratively to embrace the changes it brings. The guy literally knows it's going to be shit. It's like, it's like these positive people that, you could shoot him in the foot. It's like, I've just been shot in the foot. Oh my God, that's awful. Well, at least I won't have to go to work for a couple of weeks. Ha 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 ha. You've just been shot in the foot, you fucking idiot. Campaign group Fair Games said, in reality, what this will mean is that for a minimal cost, football will get a level of protection from rogue owners and mismanagement, the likes of which we've never seen before. How? You've already got like a fit and proper person testing that isn't worth a damn. It's not working. Tell that to Hull fans, Sheffield Wednesday fans. Sports finance expert. So, this is kind of like someone who doesn't have a vested interest in it, really. Professor. Oh, hello, Professor. Rob Wilson told CEAM. The introduction of the regulator is the most significant structural reform in English football governance since the inception of the Premier League. Like anything, it will bring opportunities and costs, as in positives and negatives. We must also remember that this isn't an academic exercise. It's a response to years of poor financial stewardship, governance failures, and near collapse scenarios with some clubs on the brink of existence. He added, the Premier League will see this as government overreach and a threat to global competitiveness, and I happen to agree with that. The Championship will see more turbulence, win or lose, as clubs tend to be more reliant on benefactor funding and will need to adapt quickly. Further down, it might level the playing field a little bit and prevent financial ruin for clubs chasing promotion. So, read that again. The Championship will see more turbulence as clubs tend to be more reliant on benefactor funding and will need to adapt quickly. What the fuck does that mean? I'm scared. So what the regulator is going to do is bring in rules that will harm Millwall. They will harm Millwall. They will prevent, and maybe this was expected, which is why we're going down the road that we're going within, like, it wasn't an option for us. We had to do something because, where we bring in these younger players for like 1 or 2 million, and then we get them up, and then sell them for more, because they're taking away the ability for James Berylson to fund Millwall, to put money into the club. Like, it's not like, if he wants to do it. No, they won't let him do it. They won't let him do it even if he wanted to do it. It's not happening. And if, this could seem like, if we have to cut our cloth accordingly, like, we'll be back in Division 3, or League 1, League 2. We're dropping back down. Because of this. Yeah, and it's going to kill the game. Because at the moment, the EFL set the rules, and who are the EFL? Well, the EFL are made up of the 72 clubs, and all they need to do to get the rules that they want is to have a quorum. They need to have a majority vote, and then the rules will pass. So they can basically set their own rules to some extent, which is what they've been doing now. So they regulate themselves. So if it's too tough, like if things are getting tough, they can make the rules, they can relax the rules a bit. But when this government organisation that comes in, that they're paying for, the clubs are paying for, they'll dictate the rules to EFL, and the EFL clubs don't get to vote for anything. It's going to be mandated from the government down. Like, this is the beginning of the end. Get the government out of everybody's lives. Absolutely. This is not good at all. And on that note, on that jolly note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.